So how about this? Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of 2023. When I began to contemplate what I would talk about as a year-end summary, I was hopeful it would be easier than last year to make it more, uplifting and hopeful that we're turning the corner to easier times. But I find myself looking forward into 2024, and I'm really kind of hopeful that powerful people will reassess their actions motivated by some exceptionally low polling numbers. Like, we're still 2 years away from election 2025. There is still time for common sense to prevail by putting Canadians at the front of the agenda. I mean, that hope is fading as the blunders continue. Since the popularity polls are not faring well for Prime Minister Trudeau, he has suddenly started to pass out special favors. None are slated for Alberta. In addition to confusing favors, he's making casual drop-by visits to small businesses just to shake hands. And typically where he doesn't shop, and holding elite fundraising gatherings. Like, why? But we don't have to look too far from home for some good news. Because the good is, since last year end, we celebrated Premier Danielle Smith's victory in Alberta with her promise to stand up against Ottawa, against policies that would harm our economy, and that this province continues to be the best place in all of Canada. Premier Smith is doing her job as promised while constantly being challenged by the opposition. As those who seem to be opposed to progress, they just continue to complain. She's kept her promise to immediately begin improvements on our struggling healthcare system. It can't be expected to be other than struggling with cities that are campaigning for more population without any thought to the thousands of new arrivals that can only impede more on a health system designed for fewer numbers. She has moved quickly with new criteria for saving lives from a life of addiction, added more provincial police to assist in reducing crime on transit systems, and she's reorganizing the bureaucracy. Look at it. Our economy continues to boom, with our oil sands adding over $2.2 billion more than expected to our coffers and a projected $5.5 billion surplus. More changes are underway, and that's good to see. Now, the bad. Let's jump back here for a second. Inflation is up largely due to a needless carbon tax, unsustainable deficit spending by the federal government, lost infrastructure dollars, a gross overpayment dated back to the Arrive Can ad? How about a payroll system that's still incomplete at $3.5 billion? $3.5 billion. And hugely increased interest rates. As a result, we've seen it all over the country. Canadians are suffering at the grocery stores. They're facing rising mortgage rates, rent increases, and a shortage of affordable housing, which will not be an easy task to facilitate. There's more, but I'm running out of time here to talk about it. Now, the ugly is the existential climate emergency that doesn't exist, is fitting for this category, isn't it? Threats from Minister Guilbeault to challenge his recent losses in court, his commitment to spending more of our dollars to his cohorts at, COP28, pledging to still demand zero emissions by 2030, which is 6 years away, and legislate a cap on oil and gas emissions. Fossil fuels represent capital in the bank. We need it, they need it. I was delighted to hear that the oil and gas industry was represented at COP28, and much to the dismay of some, but welcome support for Premier Smith. Take care.
Hey, did you guys enjoy this video? Hey, tap the subscribe button now.